Opportunity for Charlotte off the set piece. It is going to be the man out of Poland. The shot, yes!
And it's gone in! It's an Olympico! Shiki pulls it back, the shot, and another goal!
And look who's coming on. Ryan Romero. Here's Romero. Take the shot, kid!
Goal!
For the city, for the crown!
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Offsides Podcast, the official podcast of Charlotte Football Club. We are here covering all the latest Charlotte FC news, recapping the games, and doing a preview for next week's match. As always, I'm your host, Andres Robledo, and joined by the one and only Juan Pablo Robledo. Pablo, how's it going?
Need to get the real air horn sound.
Yeah. Need to get a soundboard.
Yeah, until then, this'll do.
So it's been a busy week, huh?
Yeah, long week. It's always a long week after a loss. Tough loss.
Yep. Agree.
We knew it was coming, somewhat. I mean, they're going to happen throughout the season, right?
Yeah, everyone loses games.
Yeah. But now we've had a little taste of each. We've had a loss, a tie, and a win.
Yep.
But I need more wins.
And it's still early in the season too, which is nice. And we can talk about it as we get into it, but there's still the team still needs a lot of pieces for sure.
The season feels like it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it might be. Before we cover the the game, a little bit of news, some bad news, and then some slightly sad news. I ain't got no good news, unfortunately. But to start things off, seems like Copetti might have picked up a hamstring injury in training. They haven't put out any official words yet or anything like that, but the rumor is he might be out for up to 4 weeks. Hopefully not. Hopefully the rumor mill's just going crazy. But what do you think of that?
Early, but I mean, I guess it's better early than later. A lot of people are commenting that they want to see Ogyman in. They're predicting that we're going to score more with Copetti out. So we'll see. My thoughts on Ogyman. I don't think he's really going to do much to help us. I would prefer we put in Vargas at the top and then you sign in on the right side as the winger. I think that would be a more favorable option for us. I don't think Ogyman is quite ready to handle the start and roll lineup.
Yeah, I can relate to that, I guess. I think he might surprise us, but at the same time,
he's got the size, but like he just doesn't have the moves. I mean, he runs out there like he's a newborn giraffe. It's just like he's just not there for me. Not there. But I'm hoping that he proves me wrong. So far, he hasn't. But
this will be a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, it will be. So we'll see, what they do.
Yeah. The other bit of news is Quinn McNeil, the former Charlotte FC midfielder, as well as a former Charlotte Independence midfielder, has retired due to some hip injury complications. Pretty young to be calling it quits, but he can't stay healthy or too much pain. Maybe it's not worth it, especially at this level. So hopefully he has a good retirement. I liked watching him play when he came in for us on that first season. Surprising they didn't re-sign him for the second season. But guess the first former Charlotte player. Second former Charlotte player to retire, right? Christian Fuchs being the first. Yeah.
Awful retired last year.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
How do you forget Awful?
I don't know.
Beast.
Awful was really good for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, Quinn McNeil retired. Hopefully everything goes well in his post-professional football career.
He's probably going to coach high school soccer now.
Yeah. Other than that, no other news or anything like that on my end. Don't think you had anything either. So let's just jump straight into the game recap. We traveled up to Canada once again to Toronto. 2:30 kickoff because I think it was like 40 degrees there or something. So 7:30
Yeah.
kickoff probably would have been like 0 degrees or something. It would have been freezing. So early game, which was nice. I thought it was a competitive game, and the way we ended up losing was probably the only way we would have
Yeah.
lost that game. But let's start from the top. So the formation stayed the same, pretty much same lineup as well. Third game in a row, something that we haven't seen at all in the history of Charlotte. What'd you think of the consistency with that?
I mean, it's what we've been asking for, right? It's what we've been saying for 2 years. Is we want to see consistent lineup and formation. So that's what Coach Dean has been providing. I'm good with it, honestly. I like that we're gonna see like some of the same faces coming on against who we play next, Nashville. And I just don't. What I didn't like about the past 2 years is like, okay, we should be going up against a weak team. We should have this in the bag, and then we see a crazy formation. It's like, how are we gonna do this? But with this, it's like, even with the formation we have now, they seem like a very strong team, especially in the back line, the defense. So yeah, it just kind of gives me a little bit of hope there that there's some, I don't know, there's some thought to the process there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was nice to see some consistency, and then also like there's no one that has really come off the bench in any of these last three games that have, in my eyes, done enough to warrant a start.
Right.
And then same for the starting lineup. I don't think anyone has done anything that has shown that maybe they should be dropped. I guess you could maybe argue for Capetti, but with the depth of the position, probably wouldn't make sense to drop him.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
let's jump into the match itself. So not a ton of action. We definitely had our chances. Thought the match was a pretty good back and forth with like honestly good swaths of time between both teams of dominating. Like you could feel the momentum shift back and forth. What do you think of the match?
Well, the first half, it seemed like Charlotte was in more control of the ball and was creating more chances for themselves than the second half. They have it as a 60-40 split, Toronto 60, Charlotte 40, but it didn't look that way or it didn't feel that way. I think overall for this game, it was just like a lot of close calls that we couldn't really push through and finalize. Especially early in the game, we had that 8-minute header by the Bear, Urso. Again, goalie stopped that. Then we had another header by Capetti on the 17th minute. And then the probably closest one we had was that one-on-one shot by Capetti on the 38th minute, which again was blocked. And they showed that replay quite a bit. I don't know that Capetti could have placed it any better. I mean, I guess he could have if it would have went in the back of the net, but I agree with where he put it at. Like that's probably the same place I would have tried.
Yeah. Yeah, that that probably was the best chance of the game for us, and it is unfortunate that he wasn't able to put it away. And it's what, 2 games in a row that he's kind of had like a clear opportunity and just hasn't. It just doesn't show that that like killer instinct, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Last game against with the Whitecaps. I mean, he had a clear one-on-one situation, and it just got stopped. Again, in Toronto, I can't recall the home opener now. It's been a couple of weeks, but I feel like he also had one, but again, I think we talked about this last episode. It's like these are kind of the red flags that have been popping up. Little alarm bells are sounding in my head. It's like, listen, you've had quite a bit of chances, and you're not closing out on them. So that to me is worrisome.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, what do you think of the rest of the team though? Backline, midfield, especially the like a new guy like Urso. What do you think of his performance over the last 3 games?
Yeah, I think Urso, um, he's a good support player. He's got that height going for him, where when it comes to crosses, he's there to help out with the increase our chances of scoring. He did it last game, and he did it the game before. He's had a couple little chances here and there. So yeah, he's a good support player, distributor of the ball. Tavares still sticks out to me. Those two wings, Tavares and Vargas, they seem to really help out the attack. But still we haven't seen anything too crazy. I know Tavares has scored, and he had, I don't know if that first goal that Malanda had, if that was counts as Tavares like an assist or what, but he's been there when we scored.
Yeah,
So I think he probably helps out or sticks out a little more than Vargas does. But Vargas also is very aggressive on that right side, takes on players, sends crosses in all the time. It's just Capetti hasn't been there to close out on.
yeah.
Now his crosses haven't been as good as last season. I will say that. They've been sometimes a little too much. He's actually been sending them a little too far.
Yeah, I remember he had a similar issue last season a couple of times where he just overhit the ball.
Right.
Yeah, he definitely has not hit the ground running like I thought he would.
Right.
I think he just needs to like catch a hot streak or something, and then he'll kind of take off. That seems to be what he does. Like once he has like one good game, he starts kind of just bagging them in, like good performance after good performance. So hopefully he catches some heat soon.
Yeah. I think I feel like it's coming for him. Hopefully next game.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, on the second half, as far as ball possession, they have again like a 60-40 split. But that second half, it just seemed like Toronto had the ball a lot more, or was attacking a lot more than we were. To the point where I don't really have any notes for like attempts on Charlotte on the Toronto side to like written down or anything. So
Yeah.
like the second half, it just seemed way more in favor of Toronto, even though the goal expectation was in favor of Charlotte.
Yeah, the second half is the one I kind of remember more of like feeling the momentum go back and forth up until Toronto's goal. And it did, like, just going by memory, it did feel like there were, stretches of like 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes where like we were definitely the more threatening team, and then kind of lost that momentum, maybe didn't capitalize on an opportunity, and then Toronto kind of switched things back, and they had the ball for a while and were the more threatening team. And I mean, that's pretty much where the goal came from too. So to me, it definitely felt like we had some early momentum, didn't capitalize, and then it just switched over to them, and they were just able to capitalize on a really amazing goal that, I mean, nothing you can do about it.
Right. And even when Charlotte was in possession and they were kind of like resetting the play, going back to, as far as passing it all the way back to Kalina, at times I felt like, I was like, why are we doing this? We're kind of running out of time. We need to try to take the lead, or we need to tie it up. And it seems like they were just kind of like taking their time trying to figure it out. And I don't know. It seemed a little slow
Yeah.
and had like it felt like they were already accepting defeat.
Yeah, I do wonder if some of that is just like the depth of the bench. Like there's not a ton of pieces that can go on the field and like go snatch that one back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean to me, and I know you'll probably disagree, but to me like Ajiming's probably the only one. And then everyone else on the bench is like so defensive. Maybe Arfield as well. Maybe those two guys, and I think they both came on decently early. Trying to pull
Mm-hmm.
up the changes now. Yeah, Arfield came on 72nd minute, and Najee came on 71st. So, I mean
Yep.
that feels like decent amount of time for them to try to go out and get something done. But again, it's just like it's just no depth on the bench from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
After that,
Now we
you've
saw
got Berchimas as like the only other offensive player, and he's 16 rookie.
right.
So it's gonna be tough
Again.
for them to try to do these comebacks. I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was a real reach there with the Berchima sub. Especially at the time it came on, like you said, it was the 82nd minute, taking Vargas off, and Berchimas comes on. The goal has, just happened, so I don't know. Well, I guess we can kind of go ahead and talk into the subs. At first I'm just like, why are you taking these guys out? We need to tie, but I think this probably also goes into a little bit of Coach Dean's understanding not only of the game but of the season. There's going to be losses. It's early on. He probably doesn't want his guys getting tired and injured.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taken some of his, I would consider, star players off. We saw Capetti come off, Tavares and Vargas and Urso,
Yeah.
which I would say, as far as our attacking team, those are like the main guys.
Yeah.
So he's probably trying to decrease the chances of injury. We saw Capetti when he came off, he was pretty pissed off, but I think it was probably for the best.
Yeah, again, like think about the the depth issues too. Like if one of those guys go down, Kopetti might be down right now, but imagine
Right.
him and Tavares or him and Vargas. There's just
Exactly.
no one to play right now. And they're already missing Bender, Cambridge, and Bronico. Diani
Yeah.
is still dealing with visa issues, and then so is the other new signing. His name escapes me now. but
Bape or something.
something like
I forget.
Yeah, whatever it is, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out later.
Number 11.
Yeah. I think the word on the street is they might be ready by the 30th, so that's still like 2 more games without them.
Right.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nashville's
Yeah,
next,
so 2 more
and
games.
then Columbus is at home.
And those are going to be tough games. So,
Yeah, I haven't really kept up with Nashville, but I know Columbus is strong right now.
yeah.
Plus, they got our boy Jones out there
Yeah.
plotting his revenge.
Nashville has tied all 3 of their games.
Yikes! So and it's another away game for us. So
Yeah.
they're going to be looking for that first win.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough, physical match.
Yeah, that should be a good game, but it does suck that if Capetti's gone, that sucks. But
Yeah,
we'll see what
but
happens.
because when I was watching the games, I'm in my mind just fuming like, why are we taking these guys off? We need to be trying to at least tie, not and at least get a point out of this. But it kind of goes into probably Coach Dean's experience and expertise in coaching many other teams and leagues. It's like, it's early on. He sees probably the star guys, and like this is a way to help win in the long run.
Yeah, like just game management, team management. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did get to see the debut of Petkovic, which was interesting. I mean, not a ton of time. I think like 7 minutes or so. But that's a guy hoping to see more of sooner rather than later.
Another young guy too, right?
I think like 22 maybe. something like that.
Okay, yeah, relatively young.
Yeah, maybe even younger than that. I'm not sure. But if he can,
Maybe 21.
yeah, if he can do what he did for Crown Legacy for us, I think he'll be a nice addition.
Yeah. Let's kind of quickly go over that Toronto goal. I mean, what a banger that thing was, right? I mean,
Yeah.
There's no stopping that.
Nah, there's
As hard as Kalina tried.
Yeah, there's there's nothing to complain about on that one. He put it in like that unstoppable spot from way out. I mean, the defender was closing the space, like, yeah, and
right.
like
You
we
can't
said,
blame the defender. You can't blame Kalina.
no, and he had some big stops already too early on. Like there's one at the 61st minute that he did a real good job with stopping.
He had some in the first half too, where Insigne also had a shot, and I want to say he missed or Kalina stopped it, but still it was like I think Kalina stopped it, but
Yeah.
he had plenty of good saves to the point where I thought maybe we were gonna come off with a tie, but then this shot just comes out of nowhere. I mean, way out, and very powerful.
Yeah, it just kind of goes to show the impact that a DP player can have, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, I think we're still in talks with that other Argentinian guy.
That I think is.
Or did that fall through?
I think that's gonna have to wait till summer. So,
Oh, is the window already closed?
well, I think his team that he currently plays for, I think, is wanting to wait to sell to see if he can sell him for more, like a European club. I think that's the story on that. So, yeah, we'll see on that one.
Now we did have we had a free kick, this game and in the first half, and I don't know if you recall, it was our left back Urinan
Yeah,
that took it.
couldn't tell from the angle if it was close or not, but
I don't think it was close at all. I mean, his like you said, his face expression made it look like he just missed it, but the goalkeeper didn't even seem too worried about it. He kind of jumped to just in case, but
yeah.
I mean, I wonder if like in practice he's the one that's making more of them, because when I saw it, I'm thinking it's either Vargas or Capetti should be taking it.
Or even Westwood.
Right, yeah, but this guy just came out of nowhere, and they gave him the shot.
Yeah,
So-
and he also took the corner kicks as well, so maybe he's starting to do more of the set pieces.
Right. It's just weird for a left back, at least in my eyes, to be taking some shots. Although, it's not uncommon. We have had those crazy defenders that can also take good set pieces. Going back as Roberto Carlos or
Yeah,
who else is, Marcelo is another good one.
Trent Alexander-Arnold is known for that now.
Right.
Crazy good at set pieces. Yeah, I would say like that's definitely
So it's not unheard of.
Yeah, like you definitely got some left backs or some outside backs who are kind of like they become set piece specialists or guys that like get way up the wing and can deliver a really good ball into the box. Like that position's definitely evolved a bit to do more of that. So I wasn't like totally so I was surprised that he took it just because I haven't seen him do anything like that before. But not surprised that like that position would do it. But yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, you got Westwood, you got him now, you got Vargas, so we got a couple of guys that can take set pieces. Gives us some options.
Yeah. Also, Charlotte got a couple of yellows this game, which some of them I don't fully agree with. Well, two of them especially. The Vargas one, that was like a real soft foul. I mean, yeah, he kind of came in from behind, but it was like he barely touched the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Scott Arfield, he got a yellow, even though once they showed it on the replay, it was like
he's the one that got
getting fouled.
Yeah, that one was a bit ridiculous.
I guess the referees are still on strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Polina
only.
also got a yellow, but I
Yeah,
don't remember why.
I don't know what that was about. The
There
only
was a big
other.
brawl towards the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do remember that now.
That was
Um,
nice.
the only other thing I was going to mention about this game was like, I think even though it's a loss, it does show a lot of the potential this team does have because, I mean, this was pretty much a full strength Toronto team. They had the two Italian guys, Insigne and what's the other guy's name? Bernadeschi.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and he
you
had a
know,
couple shots too.
yeah, and for the team to hold them to a 1-0 loss and for it to be like, I mean, a game changer type moment, like, it it had to bring out like the very best of their DP player for them to win, and even then it took until like the 80th minute. So I think it's like,
Right.
even though it's a loss, it's still a game to like kind of hold your head up against and like be proud of the performance because I think it just shows a lot of potential.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, it's a whole new team. We were expecting, I think by now, to be 0-3,
Yeah,
but so it's turning out to be a lot better than we thought. We're obviously we dropped some in the tables. We're still feared to end it right now in playoff contention. They're performing a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
yeah, and it does feel like it's only like one or two players away from really like clicking, like especially on the offensive side, like
Yeah, you're right.
maybe like a upgrade at attacking mid, and then
Or a new striker altogether.
something like that.
I wasn't really sold on Competi last season, and this season I'm hoping, but it's not. All signs point to no.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Let me bring up a couple stats here. As far as like overall ball possession was 60-40 Toronto. Total shots was 10-10. Shots on target 3-3. But obviously Toronto had the one. Corners 6-7. Free kicks 12-12. Goal kicks was 8-6. So even just as like we're kind of going over these stats here, like it was a very even game, back and forth, just like your total regular soccer match. If it hadn't been for that, the one unpreventable, unstoppable shot, Charlotte would have came away with another point. But like you said, overall, just pleased with the team so far. I'm not counting this loss. I'm not taking it too bad to heart.
Yeah. And it's, a road game early in the season, like
Yeah, second road game. Getting ready to head into another road game.
yeah. So I feel like the chips are definitely stacked against the team, and they're holding up pretty well.
Yeah. Got anything else on the match? I mean,
Not the match. I would say like just from performance standpoint, I am having a hard time figuring out where Bronico and Bender are gonna fit in. Bender a little bit easier to see him as like a super sub, kind of how he's been the last two seasons. Maybe replacing Dejaguer, yeah, like late in the game, or
let's stick with Dejury.
yeah,
I vote we just stick on that. Whether we're right
Yeah.
or wrong, it's going to be Dejury.
yeah. But
Easier to say.
I don't see how Bronico gets back into the starting 11.
Right.
Maybe off the bench he replaces Ursa, but even then, I think it's going to be a battle between
That's who I was thinking. That's so funny.
Petrovic or Diani. So yeah,
I don't
think
see
it's
him
going to be
coming
tough.
in. I don't see Bronico coming into that attack and third. In the past two seasons, he's been more of a defensive player than anything.
Yeah.
So if anything, I would see him, taking off, like you said, Urso or Westwood if Westwood needs that breather. as far as Bender, I could see him taking over Dejaree's spot. I like Bender. He's still very young. But anytime Bender is in there, he's an impactful player.
Yeah, that's true.
Where as far as Dejaree, he's been almost invisible at points.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that spot's definitely more up for grabs right now, I think.
Yeah.
I need to see some good performances off the bench first, though.
Yeah.
Because I do think
for sure.
Dejaree's got that potential. I think we saw some flashes of it last season to be kind of that creative number 10. So
Yeah, you're
we'll
right. I was looking forward to, this season starting and seeing him in action. I think he's probably in that same boat as Vargas that, once he kind of gets into that streak, then it's open season from there.
yeah, I agree.
I
But
agree.
that's pretty much everything I had to say about the previous match. Like you mentioned earlier, we're going to be playing Nashville at Nashville this weekend, the 16th. I think it's an 8:30 kickoff our time. Does that sound right?
Yeah, because Nashville's an hour behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like on the last brink of it. So, it's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
But yeah, so they're an hour behind. But yeah, it's at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, March 16th.
I'll be in bed by then, fools.
Unless Charlotte's like bagging them.
Yeah.
Which we've seen Charlotte have some decent matches against Nashville before.
Yeah, it's
I feel
definitely
like Nashville's always a fun one to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a rivalry game, I feel like. But
Yeah,
so
kind of always just chirping away over there, and they were like, what do these guys want? Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, their fan base is pretty vocal and when it comes to the trash talk, but that's always fun. But they're definitely got their own issues dealing with the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They won the first round of it, 7-0, aggregate 7-0. They beat Mocha 3-0 and then 4-0. They're doing well in that. But in the league itself, they've tied. Actually, they might.
They got 3 points.
They lost. I think they might be out of the Champions Cup actually, because I think Miami beat them aggregate 5-3, so they might be out of it. I don't really know how that tournament works. It says round of 16, so I'm assuming it's a knockout round. I'm assuming they are out of it. They lost to Miami. Was this today? This might have been today. Let's see. Oh, yesterday.
Miami, you're not gonna win.
Yeah, they lost to Miami yesterday 3-1. So on aggregate 5-3. So I think they are out of the cup, which actually might not be great for us, but maybe they're down in the dumps and maybe we'll get them all their week, or we're going to get a pissed off Nashville team that's back at full force. Who knows? But in the league, as I was saying, they have tied all 3 games. Red Bull 0-0, Colorado 1-1, and Galaxy 2-2. So hopefully, worst case scenario, we'll get a 3-3 tie.
I was gonna say, it looks like they're picking up steam on the goal scoring.
Yeah. But Nashville's a very strong team last year. So we'll see what happens. It'll be a good game though, for sure.
Yeah, will be. We got our buddy Jones over there. I wonder if he's gonna start or make an appearance.
He's at Columbus.
Oh, that's right, Columbus. What was I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking.
We played
Gaines.
them after that. Yeah, Gaines.
Gaines and his brother are at Nashville. So I'm wondering if they're gonna be playing. I hope so. It'd be nice to see them.
I hope so too, because then it's one less guy we have to worry about.
Yeah, it's like if you see Gaines out there, just know he's just gonna be running straight down the side.
Yeah,
he was
he was a sub against Miami.
Interesting.
So he's getting some time for sure.
Nice, very nice. I did kind of want to briefly go over a little bit of a Coach Dean interview that he had, I believe, maybe today. Yeah, today, in regards to just the past matches. Let me see. He had a. So it says, and this is from article on the CharlotteFootballClub.com. Coach Dean talking here says, I told you from the moment I came here that I won't get too high when we win, and I didn't after New York, and I won't get too low when we don't. It's the nature of football at times. Some decisions have gone for us, some have gone against us so far already, but as long as we keep performing to our capabilities, then I certainly believe we'll win a lot more games than we lose. And then just kind of when I read that, it kind of reassured me more, and like, he's got a lot more understanding of the game, and not only the game, but as I mentioned earlier, just how seasons go and what you have to prepare for the long run. So that just, to me, just makes it seem like he was a very good pick for a coach. I'm glad that he's on our side.
Yeah, I do feel like it's been an upgrade at the coaching department with him being picked, and I like everything he's doing with the team so far. Like the consistency, dealing with the depth issues, and like all of his interviews I've enjoyed. He definitely seems like more of a personality, more friendly, more open. I felt like Latanzio was a little standoffish, and then Mar, I guess, was not interested in anything.
Yeah, I feel like Latanzio's response to this loss would have been a lot more critical and negative.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, we saw a lot of those kind of go that way, where he just he was trying to compare the club to other top club matches and why they weren't resulting our way. It's like, what do you think?
Yeah.
We're not Real Madrid or something like that.
Yeah, that was always his favorite go-to line.
Right. But no, yeah, I'm overall happy with the coaching upgrade.
Agree. All right, I think that's gonna be it for today's episode. Do you have any shout outs or reviews or anything?
No, I think a lot of the fans were kind of on that same boat we were, where it was just kind of like, it's been a long week, it was a loss. It's never fun after a loss.
Yeah.
Obviously, and then everyone's still mourning the Akira Toriyama death.
Oh yeah. That's
all I see.
So, yeah, that one was a bummer.
Yeah,
that was a bummer. All right. Well then, if you want to get shouted out on the podcast, just leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read those out. And then if you enjoyed the episode, just share it with a friend. That helps the show grow. And interact with us on social media, Twitter/X and Instagram at offsides_CLTFC. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, just don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Other than that, we will catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, you got to love that.